What if the most important conversation you have all day isn't with your boss, your partner, or your friends, but the one you have with yourself in silence? Have you ever noticed how a single negative thought, like a drop of ink in clear water, can cloud your entire day? What if you had a toolkit of powerful phrases to instantly restore your clarity and your peace? Imagine possessing a mental framework so strong that external chaos, a rude comment, a sudden problem, an unexpected setback couldn't shake your inner calm. This isn't a superpower. It's a skill forged by the ancient Stoics and available to you right now. Welcome, seekers of wisdom and resilience. In the quiet theater of our minds, a constant monologue is playing. This inner dialogue, often unnoticed, is the invisible force that shapes our reality. The words we whisper to ourselves in moments of stress, the stories we repeat in times of doubt. These phrases are the architects of our character. They guide our decisions, dictate our emotional states, and ultimately define the quality of our lives. The ancient Stoic philosophers, from the slave Epictetus to the emperor Marcus Aurelius, understood this better than anyone. They knew that true strength wasn't about conquering the world, but about mastering our inner conversation. Today, we delve into 10 of their most powerful affirmations. These are not empty platitudes to be chanted mindlessly. They are precision, tools honed over centuries designed to ground you, strengthen you, and empower you to become the best version of yourself, one thought at a time. We will unpack the deep wisdom behind each one, exploring not just what to say, but how these words can fundamentally rewire your perception of the world. If you're ready to change your inner dialogue and remake your world from the inside out, you've come to the right place. Let's begin. Welcome, seekers of wisdom and resilience. In the quiet theater of our minds, a constant monologue is playing. This inner dialogue, often unnoticed, is the invisible force that shapes our reality. The words we whisper to ourselves in moments of stress, the stories we repeat in times of doubt. These phrases are the architects of our character. They guide our decisions, dictate our emotional states, and ultimately define the quality of our lives. The ancient Stoic philosophers, from the slave Epictetus to the emperor Marcus Aurelius, understood this better than anyone. They knew that true strength wasn't about conquering the world, but about mastering our inner conversation. Today, we delve into 10 of their most powerful affirmations. These are not empty platitudes to be chanted mindlessly. They are precision, tools honed over centuries designed to ground you, strengthen you, and empower you to become the best version of yourself, one thought at a time. We will unpack the deep wisdom behind each one, exploring not just what to say, but how these words can fundamentally rewire your perception of the world. If you're ready to change your inner dialogue and remake your world from the inside out, you've come to the right place. Let's begin. One, I control what I do, not what happens. This first phrase is the very bedrock of Stoic philosophy. It is a declaration of liberation, the key that unlocks the cage of anxiety. Imagine you are a master archer. You can control everything about your process, your stance, your breathing, the way you draw the string, the focus in your eye as you take aim. You can perfect your form through thousands of hours of practice. This is your domain. However, The moment the arrow leaves the bow, it enters a world you do not command. A sudden gust of wind, an unseen branch, the subtle movement of the target, these things are external. They are fate. The anxious archer obsesses over the wind. The Stoic archer obsesses over their form. This affirmation asks you to become the Stoic archer in your own life. Draw a clear, bright line in the sand. On one side lies your dominion, your thoughts, your efforts, your decisions, your integrity, the words you speak. On the other side lies everything else, the outcomes, other people's reactions, the economy, the weather, your final grade, or whether you get the promotion. Our suffering is born from constantly trying to live on the wrong side of that line. Consider a crucial work presentation. The anxious mind spirals. What if my boss hates it? What if my colleagues find a flaw? What if the market shifts? This is focusing on the wind. Now, apply the affirmation. Your focus shifts entirely, returning to your own hands. You tell yourself, I cannot control my boss's reaction, but I can control the quality of my research. I cannot control my colleagues' opinions, but I can control the clarity of my slides and the passion in my delivery. Suddenly, you are empowered. Your energy is channeled into productive action, not paralyzing worry. When the presentation is over, your sense of accomplishment is not tied to the applause, but to the integrity of your effort. Whether the outcome is a success or a failure in the eyes of others, you can walk away with your head held high, knowing you perfected your aim. This is not just a mental trick. It is the path to profound inner peace and unstoppable personal growth. Repeat it when you feel the grip of anxiety tighten. Let it be the compass that guides you back to the territory you command yourself. Affirmation 2. Every problem teaches me something. Life will present you with challenges. This is not a possibility. It is a guarantee. We can choose to see these challenges as personal attacks, as unfair burdens designed to thwart us. Or we can choose to see them as the Stoics did, as an essential part of our curriculum. The great emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the impediment to action advances action. The obstacle is the way. This affirmation transforms your relationship with adversity. It reframes every problem from a roadblock into a lesson plan. When you face a sudden, unexpected difficulty, a project fails, a relationship ends, a financial plan goes awry, your first instinct might be despair or anger. This is human. But your second, trained response can be curiosity. By repeating, every problem teaches me something, you shift from a victim to a student. You begin to ask radically different questions. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You ask, what is this trying to teach me? Perhaps that failed project is teaching you the importance of meticulous planning, or the need to be a better team communicator. Perhaps that painful breakup is teaching you about your own emotional needs, your boundaries, or what you truly value in a partner. Perhaps that financial setback is a harsh but necessary lesson in prudence and saving. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. When a reporter asked him about his thousands of failed attempts to create a viable light bulb, he famously replied, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Each failure was not an endpoint. It was data. It was a lesson. When you view life through this lens, nothing is ever truly wasted. Every setback becomes a source of strength. Every failure, a deposit of wisdom. You start to understand that The very challenges you once dreaded are the precise tools the universe is using to sculpt you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient person. This phrase turns the entire world into your classroom and every difficulty into your teacher. Affirmation 3. I can handle this. 3 simple words, yet they possess the power to quell panic and ignite courage. In moments of overwhelming pressure, when a challenge seems so large that you feel yourself begin to shrink, this phrase is your anchor. It is a direct address to your own inner strength, a reminder that you are more capable than your fear is telling you at that moment. The Stoics believed that the universe, or logos, never gives us a challenge that we do not have the capacity to face. The very fact that a problem has appeared in your life is evidence that you are ready to learn its lesson. Think of it like leveling up in a game. The challenges become harder precisely because you have become stronger. The appearance of a new, more difficult opponent is a testament to your own growth. When you feel overwhelmed, your mind tends to engage in what psychologists call catastrophic thinking. It jumps to the worst possible outcome and sees the problem as a single, monolithic, unbeatable entity. This affirmation breaks that spell. It brings you back from the terrifying future into the manageable present. It prompts the crucial follow-up. Question: what is the next small, actionable step I can take? You don't have to climb the whole mountain right now. You just have to take the next step. You just have to write that one email, make that one phone call, or focus on that one task for the next 25 minutes. Repeating, I can handle this, is an act of faith in your own resilience. It is a loving command to your nervous system to calm down. It interrupts the spiral of self-doubt and replaces it with a calm, focused competence. It is the voice of your resilient core, reminding you that you have survived and overcome every single challenge you have faced in your life up to this point. This one will be no different. You have the strength. You have the resources. You can handle this. Affirmation 4. Nothing can upset me unless I let it. This is perhaps the most radical and empowering affirmation of all. It asserts a fundamental Stoic truth. Our emotional turmoil does not come from external events, but from our internal interpretation of those events. It is not the thing itself that disturbs us, but our judgment about the thing. Epictetus put it bluntly: men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Consider being cut off in traffic. The event itself is neutral. A car has simply changed its position in space. The surge of rage, the pounding heart, the string of curses, it all comes from your judgment. That person disrespected me. They put me in danger. They are reckless and selfish. You have chosen to be upset. You have given the event permission to hijack your inner peace. Now, imagine receiving a curt, one-line email from a colleague. You could spend the rest of the day stewing in anxiety, interpreting it as a sign of their anger or your incompetence. Or, you could apply this affirmation. You can recognize that their tone is a reflection of their state, not yours. Perhaps they are having a stressful day. Perhaps they are under a tight deadline. Perhaps that's just their communication style. You can choose not to let their brevity disturb your peace. You can choose to interpret it neutrally. This is a busy person communicating efficiently. This principle gives you complete sovereignty over your emotional landscape. It doesn't mean you become a robot devoid of feeling. It means you stop being a puppet whose strings are pulled by every random event and every person you encounter. You realize that your inner peace is a fortress, and you are the only one who can grant an external event permission to enter. By repeating, "Nothing can upset me unless I let it," you are reminding yourself that you are the gatekeeper. You have the power to observe an event, acknowledge it, and consciously choose a calm, rational, and undisturbed response. Affirmation 5. What people think doesn't make me who I am. In our hyper-connected world of social media likes, shares, and comments, it has never been easier to outsource self-worth. We can become addicted to the validation of others, feeling a rush of pride from a compliment and a sting of shame from a criticism. This affirmation is the antidote to that addiction. It is a powerful declaration of self-sovereignty. Your character, your integrity, your values, these are the things that define you. They are internal. The opinions of others are external. They are, by their very nature, unreliable and fickle. They are based on their own limited perspectives, their moods, their biases, and their own life experiences. To base your self-worth on something so uncontrollable is to build your house on shifting sand. When a coworker makes a passive-aggressive remark, or when a post you are proud of gets no likes, this phrase is your shield. It reminds you that their judgment is data about them, not a verdict on you. You can choose to consider feedback, to learn from constructive criticism, but you must never allow the fluctuating opinions of the crowd to define your core identity. Seneca wisely noted that he was not concerned with what he appeared to be to others, but with what he was to himself. Your value is determined by your commitment to your own principles, by your actions when no one is watching, and by the person you are striving to become. This affirmation allows you to move through the world with a quiet confidence that doesn't require external applause. It frees you to be authentic, to take creative risks, and to live in alignment with your own moral compass, regardless of whether it's popular or not. It is the difference between a character, which you build from the inside out, and a reputation, which is merely what others scribble on your door. Focus on building an unshakable character. Affirmation 6. Right now is all I have. Our minds are natural time-traveling machines. We spend countless hours lost in the past replaying mistakes, nursing old grievances, and clinging to faded glories. Or we rocket into the future, rehearsing anxieties, worrying about what might be, and planning for a tomorrow that is never guaranteed. In all this mental travel, we miss the only place where life actually happens. Right now. The past is a memory. The future is a concept. The present is reality. This affirmation is a call to presence. It gently but firmly pulls your wandering mind back to the current moment. When you find yourself distracted during a conversation, worrying about what to say next instead of truly listening, you can whisper to yourself, "Right now is all I have," and bring your full attention back to the person in front of you. When you are working on a task, but your mind is consumed with a mistake you made yesterday, you can use this phrase to refocus your energy on the work at hand. Living in the present doesn't mean you never plan for the future or learn from the past. It means you do those things intentionally, as a discrete task, and then you return your focus to where your power lies, the here and now. It is about giving your full undivided attention to each moment, whether you are eating a meal, talking with a loved one, or walking to your car. This practice transforms mundane activities into opportunities for mindfulness and connection. It quiets the background noise of anxiety and regret and allows you to experience the richness and fullness of your own life, one present moment at a time. It is the ultimate act of respect for the gift of life itself. Affirmation 7. I am grateful for this day. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, to achieve more, to be more, gratitude is a revolutionary act. It is the conscious decision to find joy and contentment in what already is, rather than perpetually chasing what could be. This affirmation is not about ignoring life's difficulties. It is about choosing to also see its gifts, no matter how small. The Stoics practiced gratitude not as a fleeting emotion, but as a disciplined mindset. They understood that our default state is often one of hedonic adaptation. We get something we want, feel good for a moment, and then our baseline of happiness returns to normal, leaving us wanting the next thing. Gratitude is the conscious countermeasure to this endless cycle. When you wake up, before your feet even touch the floor, before you check your phone or let the worries of the day rush in, take a single breath and say, I am grateful for this day. This simple act frames your entire day, not as a series of obligations to be endured, but as a gift to be utilized. Throughout the day, practice gratitude spotting. Notice the warmth of the coffee cup in your hands. Feel thankful for the technology that allows you to connect with loved ones far away. Appreciate the simple, miraculous fact that your body is breathing, your heart is beating, and you are alive to experience this moment. Even in hardship, you can find something to be grateful for. Grateful for the strength the challenge is building in you. Grateful for the friends who support you. Grateful for the lesson you are learning. This practice doesn't change the facts of your life, but it radically transforms your experience of it. It replaces the heavy weight of expectation with a light, expansive energy of appreciation. Affirmation 8. I will act with virtue for my own sake. What does it mean to live a good life? For the Stoics, the answer was simple and unwavering. A good life is a life of virtue. Virtue comprising wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance was the sole good. Everything else, health, wealth, reputation, was considered an indifferent. It was nice to have, but had no bearing on your quality of character. This affirmation is a commitment to your character above all else. Notice the crucial last part. For my own sake. You don't act with integrity to win praise. You don't act with courage to gain admiration. You don't act with justice to be seen as a good person. You do these things because it is the correct and rational way to live. It is how you maintain a clear conscience and a tranquil mind. When you face a decision, big or small, this phrase becomes your guide. Should you cut a corner to finish a project faster? No, because that would violate the virtue of justice, doing your work well. Should you speak up when you see an injustice, even if it's unpopular? Yes, because that is the courageous and just thing to do. Should you be patient and kind with someone who is frustrating you? Yes, because that demonstrates temperance and wisdom. Living this way means your self-worth is entirely internal. It cannot be touched by market fluctuations or the opinions of others. It is built on the solid foundation of your own actions. By committing to virtue for its own sake, you are choosing to live in a way that generates self-respect, which is far more valuable than the fleeting respect of others. It is a promise to yourself to be a person of honor, regardless of the outcome. Affirmation 9. I will embrace my fate. This is one of the most advanced and liberating concepts in Stoicism, encapsulated in the Latin phrase amor fati, a love of one's fate. It goes a step beyond merely accepting what happens. It means to actively love and welcome it, seeing it as necessary and perfect. This doesn't mean you should love tragedy or injustice in themselves. It means loving the fact that this is what has happened. It is part of the grand, unfolding tapestry of your life and the cosmos. To wish it were different is to argue with reality, which is a battle you will always lose. It is, as Seneca said, like a dog tied to a moving cart. The dog can either trot along happily with the cart, or it can dig in its heels and be painfully dragged. The cart is going to the same destination either way. When something unexpected happens, a flight is canceled, you get sick before a vacation, you lose a job, the instinct is to resist, to complain, to lament, why me? Amor fati invites a different response. You say, this is my path now. I will not just endure it, I will embrace it. What opportunity does this new path present? The canceled flight becomes an opportunity for a quiet day of reading. The illness becomes a chance to practice patience and appreciate health. The job loss becomes the catalyst for a new, more fulfilling career. This affirmation requires immense trust that even events that seem negative are part of a larger, rational order that is ultimately for your own good. It is the ultimate expression of letting go of control. It is a profound declaration of peace with reality, turning every twist of fate from a potential source of suffering into an essential part of your unique and beautiful journey. Affirmation 10. I will end this day better than I began it. The final affirmation is a commitment to progress, not perfection. The Stoic path is not about reaching a flawless state of sagehood overnight. It is about the daily, incremental, and relentless pursuit of self-improvement. It is about making today just a little bit better than yesterday. This phrase sets a clear, achievable goal for every single day. Better can mean anything. Perhaps you are more patient with your children. Perhaps you learned one new thing from a book. Perhaps you finally did that workout you were putting off. Perhaps you are simply more present and less reactive. It doesn't have to be a monumental leap. A small step forward is still progress. This mindset transforms your entire day into an opportunity for growth. It provides a beautiful bookend to the Stoic practice of the evening review. Before sleep, you can ask yourself, in what way am I better now than when I woke up? This question fosters a growth mindset, encouraging you to see yourself as a work in progress, always capable of improvement. It frees you from the paralysis of perfectionism. You don't have to fix your whole life today. You just have to lay one more brick in the foundation of your character. By focusing on this small, daily increment of growth, you will look back over a month, a year, or a decade and be astonished at the person you have become. This affirmation is a promise to yourself that no day will be wasted and that your greatest masterpiece, your own character, is always under construction. Page 2. The 7-Day Stoic Challenge from Knowing to Being. Welcome to the arena. You've listened to the wisdom of the sages, and you've armed yourself with 10 powerful affirmations. You have the blueprint. But a blueprint for a fortress is just paper until you begin to lift the stones. This next chapter is about the work. It is an invitation to spend 1 week not just as a student of Stoicism, but as a practitioner. This 7-day Stoic challenge is designed to be simple, accessible, yet profound in its impact. The goal is not to achieve perfection. The goal is to begin. It's about taking these ancient ideas out of your head and weaving them into the fabric of your actions, your reactions, and your perceptions. For 7 days, you will be your own philosopher, your own scientist, observing your mind and gently guiding it towards strength and tranquility. I encourage you to keep a journal throughout this week to record your experiences and insights. Are you ready to move from knowing to being? Let's begin. Day 1. The Morning Outlook, Premeditatio Malorum. The concept. We often start our day hoping for the best, which can leave us shocked and frustrated when things inevitably go wrong. The Stoics began their day by preparing for the worst. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, is not about being negative. It's about building psychological immunity. It's an inoculation against the surprises of fate. The task. When you wake up, before you reach for your phone, take just 5 minutes. Sit in silence and gently contemplate the day ahead. Think about your plans, your commute, your meetings, your tasks. Now, consider what could go wrong. Don't catastrophize, but be realistic. Imagine the traffic is terrible. Imagine a colleague is critical of your work. Imagine a project hits an unexpected snag. For each potential obstacle, calmly visualize yourself responding with virtue, with patience, with courage, with wisdom, with calm. See yourself adapting and overcoming. The why. This practice does 2 remarkable things. First, it mentally rehearses. Resilience. When a challenge does arise, your mind isn't shocked. It thinks, I've prepared for this. You move from reaction to response. Second, it cultivates immense gratitude. As you move through your day and these imagined troubles don't occur, you experience reality as a gift. Your peaceful commute, your productive meeting, these are no longer taken for granted. They become sources of quiet joy. You've prepared for a storm, so a calm sea feels like a blessing. Day 2. The Circle of Control. The concept. As we explored in our very first affirmation, the root of most of our turmoil is trying to control what we cannot. Today is a day of radical focus, a 24-hour training session in releasing the uncontrollable and doubling down on what is yours to command. The task. Take a piece of paper or a note in your phone and draw a simple circle. Label the inside of the circle my control and the outside not my control. Throughout the day, whenever you feel a spike of negative emotion, anxiety, anger, frustration, jealousy, pause. Identify the trigger and place it on your diagram. Is your flight delayed? That goes outside the circle. Is your mind spiraling into angry thoughts about the delay? Those thoughts go inside the circle. Did someone pay you a compliment? Their words are outside. Your choice to accept it gracefully without letting it inflate your ego is inside. The why. This exercise is a powerful diagnostic tool. It will reveal, with stark clarity, how much of your precious mental and emotional energy is being poured into the not my control column. The goal is to consciously, deliberately shift that energy. When you find yourself obsessing over something outside the circle, gently guide your focus back to what is inside. What is the productive action can take right now? What is the virtuous response? This practice trains you to stop wrestling with the universe and start mastering yourself. Day 3. Practicing presence, memento viver. The concept, the counterpart to memento mori, remember you must die, is memento viver, remember you must live. And life only ever happens in one place, the present moment. Today is a rebellion against the tyranny of distraction. It's about giving the gift of your full attention to your own life. The task: choose one routine activity that you normally do on autopilot and commit to doing it with absolute, undivided mindfulness. This could be drinking your morning coffee, eating your lunch, taking a shower, or your commute home. For the duration of that single activity, put your phone away. Turn off the TV or podcast. Do not multitask. Your only job is to experience the activity with all of your senses. If it's coffee, notice the warmth of the mug, the aroma, the complex. Taste the feeling of the liquid. If it's a shower, feel the temperature of the water, the scent of the soap, the sound of the spray. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently guide it back to the sensory experience of the now. The why. We live so much of our lives in a state of mental absence, thinking about the next thing while doing the current thing. This robs us of the richness of our own experience. This simple practice trains the muscle of your attention. It proves that you can be the master of your focus. It reveals the extraordinary depth hidden within ordinary moments and fosters a profound sense of peace that comes from being fully where you are. Day 4. Voluntary discomfort. The concept: modern life has made us soft. We exist in a state of carefully curated comfort, which paradoxically makes us more fragile and fearful of hardship. Today, we fight back. We build resilience by intentionally and safely stepping outside our comfort zone. The task: choose one small, voluntary hardship to embrace today. The options are endless, but choose something that is safe but genuinely uncomfortable for you. Take a 30-second blast of cold water at the end of your shower. Skip sugar and cream in your coffee. Eat a very simple, unexciting lunch. Use the stairs instead of the elevator all day. Intentionally leave your jacket at home if it's a bit chilly, but not dangerously cold. The why. When you willingly choose discomfort, you send a powerful message to your brain. I am not a slave to my preferences. I can endure more than I think. This practice does two things. First, it builds calluses on your mind, making you tougher and more adaptable when involuntary hardships arise. Second, it dramatically increases your gratitude for simple comforts. A warm shower feels like a decadent luxury after a blast of cold. Your normal lunch tastes like a gourmet meal after a day of simplicity. You are teaching yourself that your happiness is not dependent on external conditions being perfect. Day 4. Voluntary discomfort. The concept: modern life has made us soft. We exist in a state of carefully curated comfort, which paradoxically makes us more fragile and fearful of hardship. Today, we fight back. We build resilience by intentionally and safely stepping outside our comfort zone. The task: choose one small, voluntary hardship to embrace today. The options are endless, but choose something that is safe but genuinely uncomfortable for you. Take a 30-second blast of cold water at the end of your shower. Skip sugar and cream in your coffee. Eat a very simple, unexciting lunch. Use the stairs instead of the elevator all day. Intentionally leave your jacket at home if it's a bit chilly, but not dangerously cold. The why. When you willingly choose discomfort, you send a powerful message to your brain. I am not a slave to my preferences. I can endure more than. I think this practice does two things. First, it builds calluses on your mind, making you tougher and more adaptable when involuntary hardships arise. Second, it dramatically increases your gratitude for simple comforts. A warm shower feels like a decadent luxury after a blast of cold. Your normal lunch tastes like a gourmet meal after a day of simplicity. You are teaching yourself that your happiness is not dependent on external conditions being perfect. Day 5. The view from above. The concept. Our personal problems can often feel immense, all-consuming, and catastrophic. We lose perspective. This powerful Stoic meditation is like climbing a mental mountain to see our lives and our troubles from a vast, cosmic viewpoint. The task: find 10 minutes for quiet visualization. Close your eyes. Picture yourself in your current location. Now, like a camera on a drone, begin to zoom out. See your home, your street, your city. Zoom further, seeing the shape of your country, the continent, the entire planet Earth hanging like a beautiful blue jewel in the vast, silent blackness of space. Go further still. See the solar system, and then see the sun itself shrink to a tiny, insignificant speck among the billions of stars in our Milky Way galaxy. Finally, see our galaxy become just one of countless other galaxies, a swirl of light, in an immeasurable cosmic ocean. From this breathtaking vantage point, gently bring to mind the problem that is currently weighing on you. Your argument with a friend, your stress about a deadline, your financial worry. Hold it there in the context of this immensity. The why. This exercise does not make your problems disappear. It right-sizes them. It dissolves the ego's self-important grip. It reminds you of the vast, interconnected web of existence and fosters a sense of awe and tranquility. It shows you that your life and your problems are part of a much grander story. When you zoom back into your life, you often find your perspective has been fundamentally reset. Day 6. A deed for the common good. Philanthropia. The concept. Stoicism is not a self-centered philosophy of navel-gazing. The Stoics believed we are social creatures by nature, born to work together for the common good like bees in a hive. Today is about strengthening that connection by turning our focus entirely outward. The task. Your mission is to perform one act of kindness or service with absolutely no expectation of reward, recognition, or even a thank you. The key is anonymity and selfless intent. Pay for the coffee or toll of the person behind you, and drive away before they can see you. Write a glowing online review for a small local business you appreciate. Pick up a bag of trash at a local park. Send an anonymous note of encouragement to a coworker you know is struggling. The why. In a world that often asks, "What's in it for me?" this practice is a powerful antidote. It connects you to something larger than your own ego, the human community. It cultivates empathy and compassion. It proves that you can be a source of good in the world, independent of any personal gain. Paradoxically, these selfless acts often generate the most profound sense of personal joy and fulfillment. You are acting in accordance with your nature as a cooperative human being, and the soul recognizes this with a feeling of deep rightness. Day 7. The Evening Review. The concept. We end our challenge with the practice that ties everything together and ensures continuous growth. A life unexamined, as Socrates said, is not worth living. The Evening Review is your personal daily appointment with your own character development. The task. Before you go to sleep, sit with your journal and reflect on the day that has passed. Be a gentle but honest observer of yourself. Ask 3 simple questions, as Seneca did. 1. What did I do well today? Acknowledge where you acted with virtue, patience, or courage. Celebrate your progress. 2. Where did I fall short? Identify moments where you were reactive, impatient, or acted out of alignment with your values. Do this without harsh judgment, as a scientist reviews data. 3. What can I do better or differently tomorrow? Set a clear, small, actionable intention for the next day based on your review. The why. This practice is the engine of self-improvement. Without reflection, we are doomed to repeat the same mistakes. The Evening Review allows you to learn the lessons of each day, to consciously course correct, and to build momentum. It ensures that you are not just passively experiencing your life, but actively shaping your character. It is the commitment that turns this one-week challenge into a lifelong, upward spiral of growth. You've done it. You have completed the 7-day challenge. Take a moment to feel the weight of that accomplishment. For 7 days, you have walked the path of the philosopher. You have been your own teacher, your own student, your own guide. This week was a microcosm of the Stoic life. You've tasted the peace that comes from focusing on your own actions, the strength that comes from facing discomfort, and the joy that comes from living with purpose and presence. This is not the end. It is the beginning of your new relationship with yourself and with the world. Reflection. We have journeyed far. We started with the 10 core affirmations, the powerful internal statements that can rewire our minds for peace and resilience. We learned to separate what we can control from what we cannot, to see every obstacle. As a teacher, to trust in our own strength, and to master our emotional responses. We chose to define our own worth, to live in the present moment, to embrace gratitude, to act with virtue, to love our fate, and to commit to daily growth. Then, we took those words and forged them into actions. We spent a week preparing for our days like a warrior, focusing our energy like a master archer, and observing our moments with the intensity of a poet. We willingly stepped into the cold. We put our problems in their cosmic place. We served others silently, and we reviewed our progress honestly. What is the final lesson in all of this? It is that Stoicism is not a philosophy of grim endurance. It is a philosophy of profound, resilient joy. It is the understanding that you do not need the world to change for you to find peace. You do not need outcomes to be perfect to feel whole. The source of your tranquility, your strength, and your happiness is not out there somewhere, waiting to be found. It is in here. It has been all along. You are the architect of your inner world. Every day, with every choice, you are either reinforcing a prison of anxiety and reaction, or you are building a fortress of calm and virtuous response. This path is not easy. It requires vigilance, practice, and self-compassion. But it is a path that leads to true freedom, the freedom from fear, the freedom from external validation, and the freedom to be the best, strongest, and most honorable version of yourself, no matter what storms may rage outside your walls. This is the promise of Stoicism. This is the gift of Seneca. It is the power to solve not the universe outside, but the universe within. And that, you will find, makes all the difference. Thank you for walking this path of discovery with us. If this journey has brought you even a single moment of clarity or sparked a quiet resolve within you, then you've found a home here. Welcome to the channel. We believe this is a conversation, not a lecture, and we are truly just getting started. See you in the next chapter, and until then, stay grounded, stay grateful, stay stoic.